Tsehay said, smiling, I love it. But the house. Will we have enough space? We're inviting a lot of people. Derek said, reassuring, we'll make it work. Granddad's place is huge, and the backyard can fit everyone. Plus, he's got that old barn we can decorate. It'll be perfect. Tsehay said, touched, broom jumping. Tsehay said, excited, my love. I can't believe the wedding is so close. We need to start sending out invitations. Did you talk to your grandfather about using his house for the reception? Derek said, grinning, yeah, he's thrilled. You know how he loves a big family gathering. He's already talking about setting up the backyard and getting the barbecue pit ready. Tsehay said, laughing, barbecue at a wedding? That's so American. We'll need to have some injera and Doro Wat too, you know. Derek said, teasing, of course. We'll have a food fusion wedding, barbecue, injera, and collard greens. Everyone's going to be talking about it for years, my love. You're amazing, Derek. I can't wait to see how everything comes together. Your grandfather must be excited too. Derek said, laughing, he's more excited about the food than the wedding. He keeps asking how many ribs we should grill. Tsehay said, well, my family's bringing the coffee ceremony, so at least there'll be balance. Is Maya coming? She asked with a frown on her face. Derek said, I am not sure. Anyway, our wedding is going to be the best wedding ever, Tsehay. Everyone will feel the love. Our love. Tsehay sat down, remembering all the unpleasant encounters she had with Maya. Tsehay always knew that marrying into a different culture would come with challenges. But Derek always made her feel at home whenever she visited him. But there was one person in his life who made her feel the opposite, his older sister, Maya. From the moment they met, Tsehay felt Maya's eyes scanning her, judging her, and forming opinions that irritated Tsehay. It wasn't just the way Maya looked at her. There was a heaviness in their interactions, something beneath the surface that made it clear Maya didn't trust her. The unease between them quickly grew, and for Tsehay, it was a painful, lingering presence in her relationship with Derek. Maya and Tsehay first met at a family dinner. Derek was excited, bringing Tsehay to meet his family, and Tsehay, dressed in her traditional Habesha chemise, had tried her best to fit in while staying true to her roots. The white flowing dress and gold-embroidered design made her stand out in a room filled with people in casual modern clothing. Tsehay had hoped her appearance would be a sign of respect, but the moment she walked in, Maya's sharp eyes locked onto her, immediately analyzing every detail. Tsehay nervously adjusted the hem of her dress as she approached Maya. She greeted her with a smile, extending her hand. Tsehay said, softly, "Hi, it's so nice to finally meet you. Derek talks about you all the time." Maya looked at her hand, hesitating for just a moment before shaking it. Her smile was thin, more out of obligation than warmth. Maya said, a little too coolly, "Oh, does he now?" Tsehay felt the tension instantly, and the evening didn't get any easier. Throughout the night, Tsehay noticed how Maya kept glancing at her, watching her every move. When Derek's mother asked Tsehay about her life in Ethiopia, Tsehay explained proudly about her culture, her upbringing, and her journey to America. She tried to answer every question with grace, even though she felt Maya's eyes boring into her. Maya said, chuckling softly, but loud enough for everyone to hear, "Wow, your accent is so strong. It must be hard for people to understand you sometimes." The room went silent. Tsehay looked down at her plate, trying to maintain composure. Derek shot his sister a look, but Maya just shrugged, unbothered by the tension she had caused. Derek said, "Softly, Maya. Come on." But the damage was done. Tsehay had come to this dinner excited to meet Derek's family, but now, all she wanted was to disappear. Maya said, smirking during one gathering. "So Tsehay, are you planning to stay in the US for good? I guess getting married makes that a lot easier, huh?" The implication was clear. Maya thought Tsehay was only marrying Derek for a green card. It was a hurtful assumption, one that Tsehay had tried to brush off, but it weighed on her. The idea that someone, especially Derek's sister, could think she was using him for something as transactional as citizenship cut deep. That evening, after another tense family dinner, Tsehay broke down in tears as she and Derek drove home. Tsehay said, sobbing, "Why doesn't she like me, Derek? What did I do wrong?" Derek, his hand resting gently on her knee, sighed deeply. He had always been the peacekeeper in his family, but now he felt torn between the two women he loved most in his life. Derek said, trying to comfort her, "You didn't do anything wrong, my love. Maya's just stubborn. She's protective of me, and I think she's worried about things that don't even make sense." Tsehay said, wiping her tears, "She thinks I'm only with you for papers. She thinks I'm using you." Derek clenched his jaw, anger flaring in his chest. He hated how Maya was making Tsehay feel. In his eyes, Tsehay was the most genuine, loving person he had ever met. He knew her heart, and he knew that Maya's assumptions couldn't be further from the truth. Derek said, firmly, "Maya doesn't know you like I do. Don't let her get in your head. I'll talk to her. This has to stop." But talking to Maya was easier said than done. Every time Derek tried to address the issue, Maya brushed it off, claiming she was just looking out for him. Maya said, defensively, "See, I want the best for you. I'm just making sure she's the real deal, Derek. I don't want you getting hurt." Derek said, frustrated, "Are you insinuating that Tsehay is not the best for me? You don't know her like I do. She loves me, Maya, and she's not using me. You need to stop this idea you have in your head. Your jokes and the comments hurt her." Maya folded her arms, clearly unconvinced. For her, this was more than just about Tsehay. It was about her fear of losing her brother to someone she didn't understand. One weekend, Maya visited Derek at his place. Tsehay was in the kitchen with excitement, preparing a traditional Ethiopian meal that Derek loved so much. The kitchen was filled with the rich aromas of berber spice and injera. Tsehay was happy. Cooking was her hobby, hoping to share a piece of her culture with Derek. But a knock on the door changed everything. Maya, however, wrinkled her nose the moment she stepped into the house. Maya said, fanning the air, "What is that smell?" Tsehay turned from the stove, her heart sinking. She had worked hard on this meal, wanting it to be a gesture of love. But Maya's reaction felt like a punch to the gut. Tsehay said, softly, "It's Doro Wat. It's one of our traditional dishes." Maya walked over to the pot, peering inside with mild disgust. Maya said, shrugging, "I guess it's an acquired taste." Tsehay bit her lip, trying to hold back the frustration building inside her. She had tried so hard to bridge the gap between her and Maya, but every attempt felt like it was being shot down. That evening, as they sat around the dinner table, Derek eagerly dug into the food, complimenting Tsehay on her cooking. Maya, on the other hand, pushed her plate around, barely touching the meal. Derek said, smiling at Tsehay, "This is amazing, my love. You really outdid yourself." Tsehay smiled, but it was tinged with sadness. She could feel Maya's disapproval from across the table. The tension finally boiled over during the wedding preparations. Tsehay had been working hard to make sure everything was perfect, but Maya had been critical every step of the way. Maya said, casually, Tsehay, struggling to pronounce her name. Tsehay, await Tsehay. She corrected Maya. She is not available for her drama today. Are you going to wear one of those big traditional dresses at the wedding? You know, it's going to look a little outdated, right? Said Maya. Tsehay froze. She had always planned to incorporate her Ethiopian culture into the wedding, but Maya's constant remarks about her choices made her upset. Tsehay said, quietly, I want to wear something that represents my culture. Maya rolled her eyes, clearly unimpressed. Maya said, laughing lightly, I just don't want you to embarrass yourself, Tsehay. This is America. People don't really get all that traditional stuff. That was the last straw. Tsehay had tried to keep the peace, to be respectful of Maya's opinions, but now she couldn't hold back her hurt any longer. Tsehay got up angrily, charged towards Maya, giving her a loud slap on her face. Why do you hate me so much? I've done nothing but try to be a part of this family, and all you do is tear me down. I'm not using Derek. I love him. I'm not trying to change who I am. But I've tried to meet you halfway, and it's never enough." The room went silent. Maya looked taken aback, as if she hadn't expected Tsehay to confront her so directly. Derek, standing nearby, stepped in between them, his expression filled with frustration and hurt. Tsehay continued angrily. Oh, she was very, very angry. She had reached her breaking point. For months, she had tried to be patient with Maya, brushing off the jabs and ignoring the sideways comments. Tsehay said, voice trembling but firm, "I don't know what I did to make you dislike me, but I've had enough. You've made it clear you think I'm here for papers, but let me tell you something. I'm already a citizen of this country. My family moved to the US when I was a child because my father's job brought us here. We lived in DC for years before we went back to Ethiopia when his contract expired. I didn't come to America to get anything from anyone. I was raised here, and I'm proud of where I come from." Maya stood, arms crossed, but there was a moment of surprise on her face. Tsehay continued, pouring out her emotions. Tsehay said, "And about my accent? You make fun of it as if it's something to be ashamed of, but let me tell you, this accent is a part of me. Everybody, every nation in this world has an accent. You have an accent. My accent is my heritage. You should appreciate and cherish every accent from the motherland, which should be a reminder of how your forefathers that were brought here used to speak. It's the language of my ancestors. Twisting my tongue the way I do reminds me of the pride and resilience of my people. You might not understand it, but I wear it with honor. Just because I don't sound like you doesn't mean I'm any less of a person, or that I'm trying to fit into some mold you've created for me." Her hands shook slightly as she spoke, but the words flowed from her heart. Tsehay said, "And the food you can't seem to handle, the spices, the smells, it's all part of our culture. The natural spices we use aren't just about flavor, Maya. They're medicinal. They heal and nourish the body in ways you might never know because you don't take the time to understand. You don't have to like it, but you do have to respect it. Just like I've tried to respect your culture, even when it's been hard." The room fell silent, the weight of Tsehay's words hanging in the air. Maya opened her mouth to respond, but she couldn't find the words. For the first time, she seemed to realize the depth of her hurtful comments. Tsehay's eyes were filled with tears, but her voice remained steady. Tsehay said, "Derek is not a property that you owe, and that is the way you see him. Then the moment he puts the ring on my lovely-looking finger, he has become my property. Is that clear? Or do you want me to repeat myself? I love Derek, and I want to be a part of this family. But I won't keep quiet while you tear me down for being who I am." With that, Tsehay walked out of the room, leaving behind a stunned silence. Derek said, "Looking at Maya, that serves you right. That was the last time she saw Maya." Derek said, "Mom is waiting for us," snapping Tsehay out of her flashback moment. She grabbed his hand, and off they went to see Miss Thomas, Derek's mom. Miss Thomas, Derek's mom, walked into the living room smiling warmly, telling everyone of T how excited she is about the upcoming wedding. "So, Tsehay, have you heard of jumping the broom on your wedding day?" Tsehay looks puzzled. Jokingly, "I've heard of jumping for joy, but jumping the broom? I don't understand. Is this how weddings start here?" The room chuckles lightly, but her smile fades as she looks at Derek for clarification. Derek said, playfully nudging her, "Babe, it's an old African-American tradition. We jump the broom at the end of the ceremony. It's a symbol of starting a new life together." Tsehay's brow furrows. She glances at her mother, who is wearing a disapproving expression, her head tilted slightly as she frowns. Her father, stern yet composed, crosses his arms in silence. Tsehay's mother said, with a thick Ethiopian accent, "We do not jump over brooms in Ethiopia. We sweep the floor with a broom. So I don't understand. Do you disapprove of my daughter marrying your son?" The room grows tense as the cultural divide begins to emerge. Miss Thomas said, attempting to soften the mood, "Oh no, we love Tseya. She is such a sweet girl. I am sorry that we did not tell you about this before. Jumping the broom, as it is called, started many generations ago. Miss Thomas said dramatically back when our people were working on the farm. They didn't have the freedom to marry the way others did. They couldn't go to a church, couldn't wear fancy dresses. But love found a way. Instead of a minister or vows, they'd jump over a broom as a sign of their union. It was all they had, but it meant everything. Tsehay listens intently. Her expression softens, touched by the story, but she still hesitates. Tsehay said, thoughtfully, "That's beautiful. But in Ethiopia, we don't have that history. We have different traditions like the coffee ceremony, where family comes together to bless the union. It's sacred to us." Tsehay's mother nods approvingly, while Derek looks caught in the middle, his heart pulling between both worlds. Derek said, softly, "I get it, love. But this is a big part of my family, just like your traditions are for you. Can't we, I don't know, combine them?" Suddenly, Derek's younger sister, Lisa, a sassy 16-year-old with a love for TikTok, bursts in with excitement. Lisa said, twirling, "Why not jump the broom while having the coffee ceremony? You know, sip, then jump? Ethiopian-American style." The tension breaks with laughter. Even Tsehay's parents crack a smile, though her father remains silent, thoughtful. Tsehay said, sniffing the air, "Now this smells like unity. The food. Not so sure about the broom yet." Derek grins, handing her a plate of injera. Derek said, laughing, "If we can make Doro Wat and fried chicken work together, I think we can handle the broom." The big day has arrived. The venue is a blend of cultures, African-American decorations mingled with Ethiopian fabrics and colors. In one corner, there's an elaborate coffee ceremony setup. In another, a broom rests near the altar. The wedding day was filled with joy and laughter. The wedding day buzzed with joy as relatives from both sides mingled, laughing and dancing to lively music. Derek's family embraced Ethiopian traditions, trying spicy dishes with excitement, while Tsehay's relatives admired the colorful decor. Laughter echoed, children played, and the air was filled with love and celebration. Tsehay, looking stunning in her wedding gown, stands at the entrance. Her heart is racing as she approaches Derek, waiting for her at the altar, grinning with love. Tsehay said, whispering to herself, "Jump the broom. I can do this." Tsehay looks at Derek, and with a deep breath, she smiles. Derek squeezes her hand, offering her a silent promise of support. Derek said, softly together. And with that, they both jumped the broom, laughter and cheers erupting from both families. As they land on the other side, Tsehay's family steps forward, starting the coffee ceremony. Incense fills the air, and small cups of steaming coffee are passed around. Tsehay's father said, lifting a cup to unity, to love, and to our children's future. The room erupts into celebration. Tsehay and Derek, both relieved and joyful, share a kiss, surrounded by the warmth of both their cultures, united by love. Laughing and celebrating together in the background, two worlds intertwined forever. Lesson learned: love and respect for each other's cultures can bridge even the widest gaps, leading to understanding and unity. Let us embrace our differences with love.